Hello there, all you beautiful people. My name is Claude, and today we have another special video. I keep saying special video, but today we have ourselves a unique podcast. We're trying this out, seeing how it goes, see how you guys like it. And today we have ourselves two guests. You know them already, you love them. First, maybe introduce Jalex, the World Championship winner from 2096. I don't know. So say hello.
Well, I'm from the future. No need to sweat about it.
Okay, and now we also have ourselves Terra. He is a very, very intelligent guy. He knows his stuff. Go ahead and say hello,
Hello, it's so nice to meet you, plebeians. No, I'm just kidding. It is nice to meet you
bud.
guys.
Yes, and today we have a wide variety of topics to talk about. We're going to talk about the channel. Maybe we'll talk a little bit about our D&D games and the future for what our projects are going to be and like our opinions on the projects that we're going to be doing. So why don't we just kick things off, just to talk about ourselves a little bit. Jay, you want to start? Is there anything you want to say to everybody watching? Just anything you want to let them know about yourself?
I am a nice person. I didn't really prepare for that. I am definitely fun. I like to play games. I play D&D, though I do not pay attention to most of the information, and I get caught up in that crap once it happens. Um, let's see. I watch a lot of games more than I play games, I guess. I don't know. What am I supposed to talk about?
I mean, we're just introducing you like proper. I mean, I know we kind of just threw you into the videos without any sort of like proper introduction. Just whatever you want to just tell these nice people. Just go ahead and say what's on your mind.
Um, well, my mind just went blank, so that's cool.
Oh, don't worry,
Um,
that happens all the time with myself. Go ahead.
well, I am a cat person. I like cats. But I work most of my time with dogs because I am a dog hairdresser. So there we go. Let's start with that. How about you, Tara? How about you?
Yes,
How about
Tara.
me?
What do you want to tell everybody about yourself?
I'm a nice person.
You
I'm
cannot
sorry,
quote me. This is
I
not
had to
how
make
that
fun of you
works.
just a little bit. Um, so I started playing D&D about 2 years ago, with the best DM ever. Well, the only one
Oh,
I've ever had, so don't really have much to judge it by. Um,
well, I still
and
appreciate the compliment.
um, and I also play a lot of video games. I am super into the Final Fantasy and Kingdom Hearts series very much. I also am into cats. I have two cats, both Howie and Ash, who are the literal loves and demons of my life. I am a scientist. Well, and still in the final years of my training, but I am a scientist. So I use a lot of my critical thinking skills, mostly to figure out Claude's campaigns, because it does require a lot of thought to figure all the little nuances he puts in there, which is super fun. And yeah, I'm just excited to talk about everything, share my opinions with alongside both Jalex and Claude. And yeah, hopefully you guys will enjoy it.
All right, and now for myself. I am a retail worker by day, but at night I do a wide variety of things. I help I help Jerry with the editing and making sure things are working properly, as well as I'm trying to go into voice acting. Still trying to figure that out, but it's it's good. It's getting along.
Should
I
make a
also
Fiverr account.
Yes, I've actually thought about making one. In fact, I'm trying to see how that works first and foremost. I know when I tried to do it on my phone, it didn't show me all the options. So hopefully the browser version allows me to actually get into the major details and like allow me to actually customize my account and get started with that. But yeah, I'm also very heavy into video games as well as Dungeons and Dragons. I've been a player for a little over 5 years now, with a dungeon master position being at least 2 to 3 at this point. I would say like we've had our games for like what 2 3 years, like I said.
Yeah, about 2 years.
Yeah. Aren't
Yes,
we going
I
on
and
think
almost? We went on.
Uh-oh, we lost Jalex.
Yeah, we just lost Jalex, folks.
Whoops, I muted my mic on accident.
That'll do
we
it.
went on for maybe I don't know, almost 2 years with that first campaign, and we're on year 1 with this campaign. So yeah, about 3 years, I think, actually.
Wow, I mean, has it been 3 years already? Whew, I mean, that just goes to show you that it these games can be very time consuming, but also very rewarding at the same time, creating these unique experience, which actually segues to our first topic, Dungeons and Dragons. A lot of you don't know, our involvement with Dungeons and Dragons. So we're here just to talk about what we have done, the experiences we've had, and maybe offer some funny stories to go along with that. So, Jalex, do you want to talk about your character, your current character,
My
and
current
explain
one?
to yeah, your current one.
Well, I play Amelia. She is a bard, Triton. She is actually a triplet of Blair and Howie. And sorry, I forgot my brother's name for a second. She is a daughter of my last character, actually, and by funny odds, she actually was able to become a queen, which I can't say I can top that. So good job. But I play, basically, she is a very stereotypical bard. I don't know how to explain a stereotypical bard, but if you do not know, then maybe you should go into what a stereotypical bard is, because I am not about to say
Sure.
that on a family-friendly channel. So
Yes, this is a wholesome Christian channel we got going on here, but to sum
not on
things
my
up,
Christian Minecraft
the
server.
stereotypical bard is a very love-obsessed musician who
Yes.
likes to they like to see pretty faces and hold hands. Let's just say, I mean, there's a lot of hand holding with these bards,
Non-committal
and
hand holding.
yes, I mean, yeah, non-comment, whatever word you just said.
I think it
But
was
for the most, yeah, but for the most part, I think Amelia, she plays off this trope very well as making it her own. And now, why don't you go ahead and do you have any unique stories about Amelia that you want to share with everyone?
Man, unique. Gosh, her whole story is unique. Man, my most favorite part was the Battle of the Bards. I got to write some music, not very good music, but it was fun
Oh, come on, it
spoofing
was
some
pretty good.
songs. It was good spoofing some songs. Maybe eventually you'll get a peek at it. No, no, maybe there'll be a music soundtrack. Amelia's soundtrack. Let's just play it for you. No, but
Yeah.
that she's chasing someone right now in the game, but we'll see how far that goes on, because I don't know, she gets tired. She doesn't like chasing too long.
Of course.
People usually
And if
chase Amelia. She doesn't usually chase other people.
Yes, and if you guys want to hear Jalex sing, leave a
No.
comment down below, and we'll see if we can make that happen.
Shh, you don't have to. You can just say, "Shut up, Jalex,"
We need
and
to.
I'll get it.
No, no. I'm sure all these beautiful people, and when I say all, I mean all six of you watching this right now, I think that you would enjoy, Jalex, and I think, she did a pretty good job when the game actually did come along. It was a lot of fun, singing alongside everyone, and it was a very wholesome conclusion as well. So for the long and short of it, there was a battle of the bards and the city of Fidelium, and the prize was 10,000 gold pieces, which, if I had to make it equivalent to real life cash, let's just say $1 million, just just for simplistic sake, $1 million cash prize for being the best vocalist in the land. And her instrument was a lyre, was it?
Yeah, I play. Yeah, she mostly plays the. I say lyre, but lyre's probably the same thing too. I just like the way lyre sounds, but she plays the lyre mostly. But yeah, that's actually all she really plays is the lyre. I was like, does she play
So,
anything else? I mean, I made a maraca joke at some point during the campaign, but she
yeah.
doesn't play maracas. Um, her actually, you know what? Her good old brother helped her win that. So why
Yes.
don't
Well, that's a good segue
yeah.
into Terra's character. Why don't you go ahead and talk about your current character that you're playing now, if you would kindly?
Yes. All right. My current character, dear Howie. Howie is a sword mage who is more or less a prodigy in everything he does. He is a perfectionist through and through. He was captain of the Royal Guard of Alestein by the age of 20. He is the responsible one of the triplets, mainly because Blair was not part of the triplet that she knew of. And, well, you guys just heard Amelia's character, so obviously someone had to take the reins. He is next in line to the throne, but he has a lot of animosity towards his father that he has thankfully worked through most of it as the campaign has gone on, which has been very nice. And I also should mention that his father, Terra Truesdale, was also my very first D&D character, who was a druid and was so fun to play. And I'm loving playing Howie as well. Howie's had a lot of very defining moments in this campaign. I think my favorite, though, um, was a couple of sessions where he had gotten into a argument with the person that he was romantically interested in, another character player called Leon. Um,
Yes.
and who can get introduced in a second. And they had always got along super well, and they were definitely in love. But then this one inexcusable fight really rocked the boat on them, and it has still been a very large crux in their relationship, which has been just extremely interesting to play out. And think about this, how Howie would feel and react to all of this, for a sort of sense of betrayal that he felt over this argument. So, getting really into the nitty gritty emotional details of his character has been super fun, since my original conception of him was that he was a very non-caring or emotional person, and all he wanted to do was be the best at everything. So it's been super fun.
Oh, absolutely. And for our third player, who is not here today, but hopefully in future videos we can actually properly introduce her to the channel, have her talk about her experiences with the campaign. But currently she's playing a tiefling named Leon. Now, Leon is a very unique character because both SunnyCider and I had talked prior about how, her character was going to grow. And we've implemented the last campaign story arc, which involved entity known as Sin, into her current character. So the long and short of it is that there are these 8 sins. I know what you're thinking. There's 7 sins naturally, but I've included an eighth one called rebirth. And these are the things that had formed the world and influenced the way humanity, and not just the human race, but dragonborns, lizard folk, pretty much any humanoid race and their interactions with the world. Well, over the course of this campaign, and when I say they, I mean the group, managed to find like several of the pieces that were originally from Leon and put him back together to create this sort of demigod. I mean, at this point, I think you both can agree with me that the lore behind this campaign will probably take a whole like novel's worth to explain. Wouldn't you say?
There's
Absolutely.
a lot of information.
A lot of
Yeah,
information,
and
very action packed, and lots of secrets hidden all throughout the story.
Yeah,
oh,
so many secrets
absolutely,
that I forget I even know the secrets.
But
and
it's
maybe one
fine because
day,
I'm here to cover it all.
absolutely, and maybe one day we'll probably sit down for another video and just talk about like from beginning to end what exactly happened in these campaigns.
Oh my
And
gosh, you better
I
give
know
us a
that.
review session before that then.
Yeah,
Oh, absolutely. Don't worry. I mean, I have most of it written down. A lot of it, believe it or not, are just scribbles because when you first start out as a DM, you're not going to know what's going to happen, and you can either plan out everything for months at a time, but if your players do something completely different, then it's going to be completely different.
yeah.
So that is why I try to like do things as the story progresses, and then just plan that way. But going back to what I was saying, that maybe one day we can sit down, we can talk about the campaigns, like in episodes, kind of like we're doing with these podcasts, and
Yes.
just tell these folks the
Yeah.
story of what we're calling the Chronicles of Sin.
Yeah, we
And the first,
definitely have to start with that first
yes,
campaign.
Hmm.
absolutely. And believe me, considering that campaign took 2 years, there's a lot to cover and a lot to unravel. So the first campaign, I believe we dubbed was called Through Faith and Flame, whereas this current one, I think we're calling Genesis. I believe that's what we,
Yes,
agreed
we
the name was
decided
going to
on
be, right?
Genesis. Yes.
Yes, and there's definitely going to be a third part to this game, but we'll save that for a future video. Let's see. Now, I guess the next point of topic for Dungeons and Dragons is like, what are to the both of you? Do you have anything that you've disliked about the current game so far, whether it be its story, how we've executed, like the combat, pretty much anything?
Zephyr. Fuck Zephyr. I mean, oh, sorry.
Fuck
Screw Zephyr.
Zephyr. No.
Jerry?
He deserves the hard F for this one.
Yes, Jerry, you need to censor out these words.
Just bleep them. Bleep
Bleep us.
them.
But do the best you can, buddy. But
Zephyr has been a
yes.
thorn in our side from campaign 1 all the way to now. Zephyr is, what is he, the god of time or something like that?
In the first campaign, he was known as the God of Time, but over the course of the two campaigns, he's been revealed to be like something even greater than that.
Thorn in our side. That's all he is.
Thorn
And
in-
literally,
Yes, yeah, from a god to a thorn.
Yes.
I literally was
So-
like, I'm going to give you all the information you want if you don't fight me right now because I ain't got time for that.
So the long and short of Zephyr, he's essentially a watcher, and he instigates the various problems, not just throughout the campaigns, but even the events prior to that. Like, for example, as the group had discovered, he was part of the reason why the city of Videlium, which we talked about earlier, was under attack and siege. The original history of that is the entire city was decimated, by the Obsidian army, which Obsidian is another country that is, next to, Fidelium. So, I mean, it was because of Zephyr's involvement. I mean, thousands of people died in that, battle. And luckily, the group managed to subside the original history. But why don't we talk about that now? Who wants to explain, like,
Wait, you
what
didn't let me
exact?
answer. You didn't let me answer my question. Or
Oh,
that
excuse
question.
me. Oh, sorry. Go
The
ahead.
thing I hate the most. That's really a hard one for me. Most of the time it's the DM. The other half of the
Thank you.
time it is, or the other like fourth of the time is Zephyr, and the last fourth is, all the lessons that my poor Howie is forced to learn, whether he wants to learn them or not.
Honestly, what's funny is at the start of the campaign, it was Amelia loving her dear parents so much, and especially her father, like she loved him so much. And then Howie's just like, screw you, Dad. I'm going to do my own thing. I ain't going to be like
Pretty
you.
much.
And then literally, you guys had a reconciling, whatever the word is. You guys came to terms
Reconcile,
with
yeah.
your hate,
Mhm.
and you guys worked it out. And then literally that bombshell of Terra being a part of something even greater in the end, I was like, oh. And then Amelia now hates her dad. And so it was like the
Yep.
roles flip-flopped, and Amelia's like, I'll do anything to piss him off now.
Yeah. No, I think definitely that Howie has gotten a better sense of what duty really means and is much more willing to take the harsh criticism that either his peers or those he meets gives him, because he is, the one who's probably going to end up taking the throne, now that things have happened with his or with the father. And he also really understands, that sacrifices are sometimes needed and that he's willing to do whatever for his friends, which I think is very different than what he was at the beginning, because his charisma was like -2 at the
I
start.
agree. I say that there was a lot of growth between everybody's
yeah.
characters
Oh,
so
yeah.
far and how they decided to go about things. Amelia started off as this stereotypical Bart that loved to hold hands with a lot of people, but she became her own. She embraced it and she created a unique personality from it. And in terms of Howie, he did become like this lawful neutral, soldier that just wanted to follow the rules. And though he had a chaotic side, he did like understand like over time like how to like properly do certain things, like the lessons that of course his father would go on to teach him, whether through him being as a captain or throughout the entire campaign in itself. So I would say between all of you have done so many unique things to grow your characters. And as a DM, I am very proud that you role play it the best that you can.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of where I want to go with the next question. What goals do you have for your characters, like from here to the rest of the second campaign?
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Uh,
So now,
Yeah.
huh?
I was gonna. Okay, did you hear the question? Like,
There was a question?
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, I totally zoned out for the last one
yeah.
then.
No, it's fine. I'll repeat myself. Basically, I asked, towards that end of that rant. Let's see, what goals do you have for your characters throughout the rest of this campaign?
Oh yeah, I
Anything
agree.
that you want to try to accomplish before the end of it.
I'm the
So,
worst.
Jalex, you want to go ahead and start?
Not get pregnant.
Not get pregnant. I like that.
I made that mistake with Aspen, and I mean, obviously, I got a good character out of it, but at the same time, not getting pregnant's the main goal. Honestly, one of her one of her interests in a relationship, which is something she's never looked to, is telling her to grow up, and maybe she does need a little bit of growing up. But the fact is, the only reason she's being told to grow up is because she's technically a princess and she needs to set an example, and she doesn't really.
Well, I mean, I don't know about technically princess. She is a princess.
She is a princess.
But she never saw herself as like a person that would be put in that role. Like if you saw her on the streets, you wouldn't think she was a princess. She always kind of, though right now she kind of has more of a bardic slash like dancer look going on. So
Yeah,
it's not
like
a
fun and
yeah,
fancy free type of
very
person.
very really revealing esque nature. But the thing is, she doesn't like being told what to do, and more frankly, when someone's telling her she needs to grow up, she's like, but do I really? But I really don't know where I want to see Amelia. After the incident with Terra, she actually started getting a little more, I guess, deadly. She started getting scary.
Mm-hmm.
So she's gotten a lot of scary
Oh yeah.
spells that you wouldn't expect a bard to really know, I guess.
Yes, and
I
for those who
agree.
are not too involved in 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons, bards get a unique feature at higher levels called Magical Secrets, which they can take any spell from any spellcasting class for as long as they can cast it. Like, for example, I think at level 14 or 15, she was able to get a 7th level spell. I think he chose Feeble Mind,
Yeah.
which turns like charisma and intelligence to a 1, which 1 is the lowest stat of any like lowest number in any like any stat line. So it's a very scary ability that she recently used too, that which helped her out in the long run.
And
Mm-hmm.
it lasts for like 30 days too, so have fun.
Oh, I mean it can last even more
Oh
than
yeah,
30 days
well,
if you keep on failing
yeah,
it.
if they don't make it, then yeah, it'll last 60 days, and if they don't make it again, then 90 days. And but 30 days, I was like, you know what? Let's do that. I also have reverse gravity, which I was hoping to maybe use in a giant fight eventually, but um, no, I think the Terrasque helped a little bit more. So
Yes.
Oh yes.
Yes.
Now before we get into the Terrasque bit, Terra, what now it's your turn to answer like the question. What goals do you have for your character, or is there anything you want to do before the end of it?
Yes, I do. So I think Howie's biggest void is really accepting and enjoying love from another person, because I don't think he really ever accepted it from his parents. And now that he has such close friends, and especially is very close with his sisters, it's getting better, and he's loving and caring for the people around him, even though he was very selfish and logical at the beginning. But he's never been in love, and while things are rocky with Leanne, hopefully they'll be able to patch things up and move forward in their relationship in healthy ways. And hopefully we'll end being happy with all the decisions that he's made, and knowing and accepting that people love him.
Of course.
Yes.
And
Only
yeah, that's kind
emotional
of
good things for my best boy Howie.
Howie is a really awesome character, and the damage output he can do in combat is
Oh, it's
just
ridiculous.
insane. Now, again, for those who don't know, we're also using homebrew content, which means that it's not official. So the balancing can be all over the place. So I think that,
Terra.
excuse me, Terra. Sorry, you have so many names now. It's kind of hard to keep track. But
Fine.
Terra, you and me, we talked about your sword mage a couple of times because it was either too powerful or too powered. So that's
Yes.
kind of, another thing about being a DM is talking with your players and being able to work with them. It's very easy to say, no, you can't do this. But that makes it seem like, okay, it's so restrictive. Your players are not going to want to, come up with unique ideas. But talking about it, like, me and you have done,
Yes.
Tara, I think we've definitely worked out, a lot of what made it's either unbalanced or unfun, and just had ourselves a unique medium,
Oh, I completely agree. Especially because like I was really dead set on doing Sword Mage, and I knew that it would take some effort to figure it out. But Pod's been really great working with me through all of this, and especially updating um, the character sheet and everything. As because there was one time where I was, I think maybe level 11 or 12, and I was doing like 200 damage. If I like
Yeah, something like
dare
that.
rolled a nat 20, or just was really hitting way too hard for my level, and it was making it very difficult for long, difficult fights to be had. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Which, doing a lot of damage is not necessarily a bad thing, but when
No.
it comes to like a level 11 character doing more damage than a level 20, say, barbarian would, that seems like it can be like tweaked a little bit,
Oh
which
yeah.
that's what we did. We managed to like fix things to the point where he's still doing a decent amount of damage, but he's also having fun with the battles because if you just one shot everything, no one's going to have fun with the battles. It's just going to be okay, Howie, how do you want to do this? I kill him. Okay, you killed him. That doesn't make for interesting
Not
combat.
at all.
But
And especially it takes away the team effort of our battles when it's really like, all right, we just got to survive until Howie's turn, and then Howie can obliterate him. That's just no
exactly, and
fun.
especially since the rest of the party members, like Amelia, for instance, she is our support like character right now, where she
Please, she's gonna be a
has a
tank by
unique
the end. I'm calling it.
I'm already
oh,
a tank.
absolutely.
I
I mean,
literally dealt so much damage the last boss battle we
Session.
had.
Oh yeah.
oh yeah, that's another thing. She chose Disintegrate as well, which I mean, if it hits, it deals so much damage, and for a bard, that's really unique, and especially since now I've also implemented what is primarily called prestige classes, but instead of like having like prerequisites to unlock them. I've been introducing them through like story elements, like for example, if they conquer like a powerful foe, or if they like role play really well, I may reward them with like a unique subclass. Like for instance, Amelia's subclass is called the Melodious Diva, and her unique ability is to use songs to either grant bonuses to everyone or gain disadvantages to everyone. Like either making it harder for enemies to attack or making it easier for everyone to attack an enemy, and I think that's I think that it's been used moderately well. Media, media.
Media.
Excuse me. Jalex, yeah, Jalex. What do you think about your prestige class? Tara, I'm going to ask you the same
Okay.
question here in a minute, but I just want to
Really-
get
yeah,
that
it's definitely
idea.
really helpful. I don't use the one that gives us advantage as much, as in like gives us extra hit points and stuff because I say hit points, extra damage points. I rather use the one that gives disadvantage on the enemies because I don't know, I feel like it does more and I only can play the song for as long as I have inspiration die. So as long as I have inspiration die, I can keep the song going and the buffs add up, but if I decided, hey, you want an inspiration dice, Howie, or something like that, I only have so much more to play. So I could probably play a song for 3 to 4 rounds. Or do I only have 4 inspiration dice right now?
You do currently, but you also regain them after, say, like a 30
So
minute rest, which is
for
not that
4
bad.
songs, for 4 turns, I can play the song continuously in the background. I don't have to concentrate on it. But after my inspiration dies are up, then my disadvantages or advantages, depending on what I decided to do, they go out, and so I can't play the song anymore. I can change songs if I want, but I can't stack songs either. So I either have to pick one or the other. I also have a healing song, which I have used a little more so because I am supposed to be a support, and even though Leon has taken some cleric class subclasses, um, I am supposed to be the main support, but because of recent events, I have became more. Well, my character has become more angry and has not really delved
Well,
into
I
some
mean, let's just
support
think of it
classes.
this way. By the end of the campaign, I'm not going to be too surprised if you end up choosing the wish spell and just eliminating this entire campaign right then and
I
there.
mean, we'll see. We'll see what happens. It's all on her father right now. Her father, you know what? I'm not
Yeah.
saying it's his fault, but he's making Amelia pretty mad right now. He's super sus.
He's super sus.
Yes, he's very
Well, I
sus.
mean, I would say, without revealing too much, Terra, by the looks of it, seems like he knows what he's doing, and it may not seem clear right now, but I mean, if things were different, I'm sure that Amelia wouldn't think of Terra like that. But I would say that when it comes down to it, it's going to be very interesting to see how Terra plays a concluding role. And which brings me back to you,
Terra.
Terra, where hence the name.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell me about your prerequisite? Let everybody know, what we've designed.
Yes. So my prestige class is called Battle Master, which I think is pretty interesting, given that I am a sword mage and I technically am pretty proficient with all weapons. The whole idea of the class is about attuning to your weapons, really understanding their origins, and using that and your connection to them to be able to use them in combat. Kind of like how I feel like a lot of the base model has really been modeled after Noctis from Final Fantasy 15, which if you haven't played it, it's amazing. Even if you just watch the whole story on YouTube, it's super interesting and definitely worth your time. Um,
Yeah. For those who don't know who Noctis is, can you give a brief description of what he can do so that way they have an idea
yes,
of what Howie can
yes.
do?
So Noctis, like Howie, is more or less a sword mage in his own right. He can use his swords to throw them, teleport to them, and use that to get behind or flank enemies with the blink of an eye, making him extremely versatile in battle because he can really warp around the stage and attack whoever he wants to, which is what basically the first level of my prestige class is. The next one um, is having an emphasis on full on attack. So it's called Arcane Overstrike. And basically, this ability allows me to conjure all of my swords all at once to do a deadly attack to one person or enemy. And I get to automatically have critical roll on that. So it will definitely hit, and it'll be a critical, meaning I'll do double the damage. And it will definitely hit hard. But the drawback is, I think for the next like hour, I can't
I think it's like 1d4
Oh, 1d4 hours.
hours, something like
Yeah,
that.
I can't use anything more than one sword. So definitely, only like a pinch hitter kind of thing, or else it gets pretty dangerous for me. And the last one I have unlocked right now is a barrier type spell where my swords can be used to protect me and my allies, and by increasing our um, armor class or AC to help beef up our defenses. So the plan is for his last couple prestige levels is to really focus on all of the things that Howie can't do at the moment. Which most of it is getting extra attacks, or really doing a lot of damage as possible, and really using the unique aspect that he's using all of his swords to do all of these abilities. So he does have other spells as well, but really he just kind of sticks to combat, which is why Battle Master really makes a lot of sense for him.
Okay. And with that, we are going to conclude the Dungeons and Dragons talk with a mini story. Like we said before, there was a Terrasque involved, and well, let's just say the Terrasque is one of the more deadly enemies and the entirety of like the role playing genre, only because that, at least as far as I know, it is the only creature that it's considered a world eater, like a be all end all monstrosity. And the fact that one of our players not only managed to, you know, actually befriend a Terrasque, because I think how we role played it, so okay, why don't I just start from the beginning? So basically, the group was trying to keep the city of Odelium from being attacked. So they devised a plan to separate into three different groups. And one of these groups was Leon, our blood hunter, who went into like the old Githyankian road so that way they can try to lure the Terrasque to an opposing enemy camp. So Leon actually walked up to the Terrasque, well, as I say walk, but more like made himself known, not in a hostile way, but more like, very slow movements, kind of like those scenes in Jurassic Park where you just have to be slow with the dinosaurs, and not seem like hostile towards them. So Leon managed to get the Terrasque on his good side, and the Terrasque, even though he couldn't speak, displayed, to Leon that he needed help, and his family, i.e., the Terrasque's, love interest as well as its children, had sadly passed away, and Leon had the bright idea to try to use his own essence, which basically long story short, he kind of cut his arm off to try to revive these creatures. That's another story in the long run. But basically, he managed to revive these creatures, and because of that, they developed a psychic link between all of them. And Leon asking for help in exchange for saving, the Terrasque's, family, which the Terrasque had a name of Tortalis. Tortalis actually agreed to help Leon, and it was pretty fun to bring the Terrasque and have a player control a Terrasque,
Mhm.
at least for a little while, because, oh boy, I was not expecting that to happen, but I think that it was very fun in the long run just to try to implement.
Agreed. Yeah, it was a very unsafe move that Howie would have never accepted if they weren't in such a beyond dire situation with everything going on.
Yes, I agree. And now that we've talked quite a bit about Dungeons and Dragons, let's actually get down to talking about the channel and like your guys' involvement with the videos. And now, first and foremost, I want to thank both of you for, joining me with some of the gameplay, helping me do some of the voices for the Dungeons and Duel Monsters videos. I think that, without your guys' help, I mean, granted, the views aren't really that much, but the fact that we have something that we can just like share together, a unique project we could work on. So I guess my question with that is, what did you guys like and dislike about, like, let's just say, start with the Dungeons Duel Monsters videos that we've been working on, or the one that we worked on. So, Jalex, do you want to give me your thoughts on the Elemental Hero video we worked
The
on?
only thing I could say about the elemental hero is I could definitely tell that my voice in some of the lines were really overpowering. So when it came to like the song as well as some of the characters that were morphed together talking, my mic or my voice line could have probably been turned down a little bit more. so I wasn't overpowering everything. I could just say I have a really good headset, but I'm just saying, probably, instead of just increasing Terra's volume on some of the lines, then maybe just decreasing my volume, because I know you can change like the pitch and make them sound a little more higher or lower when it comes to like voice as well. So instead of my voice sound like this, you can make it sound like this or something like that, you know. But it was mostly a volume thing on that. I love the video itself. I thought it was funny. I just thought that when it came to like my voice lines, they were just super loud compared to everyone else's.
Yeah, that's one thing I did struggle with was the voices. Now, granted, both of you did a good job when it comes to you, Jalex, and your lines. Yes, it was loud, but at the same time, given that I'm half deaf to begin with, sometimes I can't even tell. The main issue I had was actually with Terra's voice lines. I don't know for whatever reason my recording software didn't pick up his voice all too well. I don't know whether he was far away or that it just didn't pick it up. So I had to actually crank up the volume on both the actual, layer volume as well as the actual like volume just to see if we can get him, to hear a lot better.
Hmm.
So granted, I could have done a better job, I will say, trying to mix it up a bit. Maybe I could have lowered JLex's lines better, or maybe I could have just asked to re-record those. But at the same time, I figured, hey, I will learn as I go along. And so I guess let's move on to your outlook on this, Terra. What do you think about the Elemental Hero video that we did?
I thought it was super fun to record. All the characters, of course, are very interesting and unique in their own aspects, and require different approaches on like how to voice act them, which I thought was really fun and entertaining for me. Um, what I didn't like, I'm trying to think. The Elemental Hero song was a bit much. It was mainly because I do not like singing, and so, or rather, singing while being recorded. So I definitely was like, oh, I don't have to do this right now. It's fine because I'm here.
Oh, you're gonna hate the next
Oh no,
Dungeons and Duel Monsters
oh
video
no,
then.
more singing.
The thing
God
is, I
help
think
me.
it's not supposed to be good. I think the whole point was it was supposed to be cringy. So
Yeah, because it was supposed to pay homage to the 90s shows that were so outrageous and cringeworthy. That was the feeling I had want to go through. If I wanted to ask you to do like the best thing you possibly could, I would have asked for maybe different tags or asked you to like use your voice in a certain way. But because we did it in a way where it was good, but compiling it all together,
yeah,
it was cringy. That's
No,
what I wanted to actually
but there's
make out of
two
it.
levels of cringy, right? It's the lyrics I thought were supposed to be the important cornerstone of cringy, but it wasn't. It was my singing, so it was both. Which
listen,
was the
listen.
issue?
Oh, come
Which
If
on,
was the
buddy.
Claude
issue?
wanted good singing, you know what? He probably would have asked you to join. I'm kidding. I'm
Oh,
kidding.
oh, oh.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Oh
But
Listen.
no.
I guess if he wanted good voice acting, then he wouldn't have asked you.
Oh,
Oh.
you're right. Except, you know what?
Mm.
I had the most fun voice recording the most littlest lines of that whole thing. Bubble Man was like my favorite character to record for.
Oh, I
That
think
was
when I
fun.
actually, yeah, I agree. When I was trying to edit Bubbleman's voice, I was trying to figure out how he would sound because we don't really hear him talk in the actual GX show. So it's kind of, at least as far as I know, I don't think I remember him ever saying any lines. So I had to make up
Hmm.
something that, like, change her voice to the way where it sounds like a guy. And we accidentally created this kind of stoner voice for Bubbleman, which kind of worked out in the long run. I
I
enjoyed it.
enjoyed it as well. I was a fan.
I loved it. That was my favorite lines to record was Bubble Man's or Bubble Boy. I don't even remember his name now. Bubble Man.
But Elemental Hero Bubbleman,
Hmm.
yes. And I will say that Bubbleman will make a return one way or
Please
another
let
in
me
future
voice
Oh
videos.
him. Oh my
boy.
god, I'll have so much fun.
Yes. I'm actually in the planning stages right now for the next one, which actually leads to the segue for the next question, or the next series of questions. The future for the channel, the Dungeons and Dragons, or excuse me, Dungeons and Duel Monsters videos. Jalex, I know you're not that well versed. As much as we joke about it,
I
I know
know
you're not
nothing.
that knowledgeable on Yu-Gi-Oh. Yeah, yes, you know nothing about Yu-Gi-Oh, but you are very good at both singing and voice acting, from what I've
Thanks.
seen. So I mean, I think that works out. And even with you, Terra, you know your way around Yu-Gi-Oh, at least the basic knowledge of it, and you do put in a lot of effort into your voice acting and singing, which I do appreciate. So, especially, I don't want to reveal too much what the next project is going to be. I can already tell you for the fact it's a real nightmare to write, that's for sure. But
Mm.
hopefully, we get it done before Christmas. That's the only thing I
Yay!
would say about that for right now. But in terms of the future of the videos, is there? Let's start with you, Jalex. Any suggestions as to how we can improve the channel? Not just with the Dungeons and Monsters videos, but maybe with the gameplay, or maybe just like
That's
the different
where I would
content we
answer
can
your question
do.
with a question and ask, what do you want the channel to be about mostly? Because right now it is gameplay of Yu-Gi-Oh and turning D&D character or Yu-Gi-Oh character or Yu-Gi-Oh monsters into playable D&D monsters. And there are some gameplays of the Yu-Gi-Oh as well as like Yu-Gi-Oh based things, but are you wanting to keep
Yeah.
it more on a Yu-Gi-Oh track, or are you wanting to be more of a gaming channel, or do you want to be more of like a skit channel? Right now, it's just a lot of things.
Yeah, it's
So
all over the
Mhm.
place. Yeah, I'm still trying to figure things out as I go along, see what people like, see what people don't like, and that's why I'm trying to experiment with various things. Now, granted, I still want to do the Dungeons and Monsters videos because I think it is a unique take on both Yu-Gi-Oh and Dungeons and Dragons. Now, granted, I'm sure some people have probably done it better. You've probably seen more YouTubers that have gone out and done much more extraordinary things with these types of videos, but I think the way that we've done it, we're having a lot of fun recording those type of videos. So if you two still enjoy making those videos, or even if you guys watching this podcast, enjoys watching these types of videos, do let us know. I mean, just I would like your opinion. Like, what do you want to see from this channel? You know us already after listening to us talk for about, oh boy, 47
shoot,
minutes.
is that really
But
how long it is?
Yeah. Ooh.
yeah, I know. We've been talking for
We should
47
probably
minutes
wrap this
already.
up.
So I yeah, so we're going to get to the final concluding remarks here in just a moment. But like I said, in terms of the future of the channel, I'm really not too sure. I'm just making videos that I want to enjoy making. Now, granted, I could follow the trends that everybody else is doing, but yes, that might give me a few clicks here and there. But in terms of like what we're doing, I just want to have fun creating videos with you guys, have letting you guys watching enjoy them, and this is kind of like a side project for our D&D group. Granted, we don't have to do it, but I don't know about YouTube, but I enjoy making these videos, whether it be the gameplay or just talking like we're doing right now.
I mean, when it all comes down to the end of the night, it's your channel. You do what you want to do. A lot of people started in places. You can see all the popular gameplay channels and stuff like that, such as Markiplier, Jacksepticeye, or even PewDiePie. They all started somewhere, and they
Yeah,
didn't get followers overnight. They built it up.
Oh
And
yeah,
yeah.
of course.
so
And like I said, I'm not expecting to be
I'm
the
just
next
saying
PewDiePie
you're
or
going to come
anything,
over hurdles.
but
You're finding out what you want to do. And if this is what you want to do right now, then that's fantastic. You keep doing that.
We're
Eventually,
here to
people will catch
support
on.
you.
Exactly. You're not
Hmm.
going to get a fan base overnight. Some people, honestly, it takes, oh, whoops. Some people, it takes months or years, and it's very slow. The people who do gain a fan base pretty quickly, they are posting out videos pretty quickly. And the only thing is, they have the time to do that. You work, so there's no way for you to really
yeah,
post videos 100%. Getting the word out is good too.
yeah,
But the
of
thing is,
course.
you need to do what you want to do. If you decide I don't want my channel to go this way, you're allowed to change it. You're reinventing yourself right now. This is a channel; it doesn't have a lot,
Yeah,
so
and that is why. Yeah, and that is why I'm kind of on that mindset with. Granted, I could do the videos that are trending, but I want to try to set the trends. like make these like different unique experiences that not many people have done, or at least not done to like the full extent. And if I do want to explore other kinds of videos, that's great. I want those opinions. I want to know like what you guys want to see, or what you two want to see, because granted, yes, me and Jerry have been working on these videos. Like we spent countless hours working on these, but at the same time, I do appreciate both of your help and the advice that you are both giving me to help out with this channel. And granted, again, I'm not expecting to get a fan base, just immediately. I'm just more focused on having fun doing what we're doing, just making these videos and just having something that we can call like, just something we can look back on, something like, hey, remember the time that we did this crazy video? We can watch it. Let's do that again. That's the thing I want to do. I want to create the unique content that can be seen for years to come. Whether they get a view in or not, that's fine. Hey, the more views, the better. Remember to like and subscribe. Um,
Agreed.
but so that's kind
I
of.
said agreed.
Yes.
Go ahead. Yeah, agreed. Yeah. So I just want to have fun making these videos. If we do get a following, that's great. I'll be glad to have all of you join us. And I think that we're doing pretty decent so far in terms of like getting people to view. Now, granted, not a lot of people are watching the entirety of the video, and that's fine. Hey, if it's not your thing, it's not your thing. But you know what? I hope all of you beautiful have all of you beautiful have. Wow, that just goes to show that we might have to
Yes.
wrap this up. But the long story short of it is, I'm having fun making these videos. I hope you two are having fun
Oh
Yes,
making these
yeah.
videos.
definitely.
And yes, and for the conclusion, I would say that regardless of what happens, I'm glad that each and every one of you can just sit down and just watch us, do what we like to do, whether it be challenge videos, the Dungeons and Duel Monsters and stuff, or even just, playing games. And that's kind of where I want to do right now. Hey, if I do have like a dedicated, type of video, hey, that's fine. We can do that. But, the main focus is just having fun, which that's kind of how everybody should look at it. Yes, I mean, a lot of people make this into a job, but at the same time, if you're not having fun doing what you're doing, I mean, it'll feel like a job,
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
no,
understand.
absolutely. Completely agreed.
Yes. Yes, but we are actually going to wrap things up right now. Just ahead of time, we are actually, well, I'm still trying to figure out the next Dungeons and Duel Monsters video. Hopefully, it'll be out soon. Not too soon, but me, Jalex, and Terra, we are going to be talking real soon about how we want to execute it. And we are definitely going to try to provide the fun content that we just talked about. So I hope all of you beautiful people have a fantastic day. Stay classy.
Bye.
Have a
Good
good night.
night.
Night.